Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, I hope everybody had a good weekend. We took a couple days off, but now we are back and we are 15 days away from the 2022 midterm elections. And we have more early vote data to analyze that's coming in. This time out of the state of Nevada. We haven't talked about Nevada in a couple weeks on this channel. I think we have to talk about it in this video. And Republicans are apparently in very, very good shape. We know that they've been leading the polls for both the Senate race. Laxalt leads in the polls, as well as the governor's race, where Joe Lombardo, the sheriff of the largest county in the state of Nevada, where most of the population is, that's a Republican, is apparently he's defeating so far in the polls incumbent Democrat Governor Steve Sisolak. So we are going to analyze this because Nevada is a state that is undergoing a massive paradigm shift, and this is the year where Republicans are likely going to win and sweep the state and possibly not relinquish it for a while. So we are going to talk about that in this video, but first I have to tell you guys about our sponsor over at My Patriot Supply, because as this world gets more dangerous with every passing day, it's time to make sure your family is prepared for severe food shortages ahead. That's why My Patriot Supply is going the extra mile to make their emergency food as affordable as possible. How? They're taking $250 off their 3-month emergency food kit, which is the minimum your family should have. This kit provides delicious, easy-to-make breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks for one person for 3 solid months. Get one for each member of your family while you're still able to save $250 during this timely sale, which ends soon. Remember, My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest preparedness company with millions of families already protected. These 3-month food kits are in stock and ready to go. Your order ships fast and free and arrives in unmarked boxes for your privacy. Go to preparewithredeagle.com. Those who know what's coming are using today to prepare. Are you? Preparewithredeagle.com. So we have to dive into this out of Nevada because this is massive news that's dropped recently here. Democrats are struggling in the early vote. We're going to be comparing 2022 to 2020 because we have this new, mail-in ballot system. You also have more early voting that was expanded because of COVID. And it's important that we compare it to 2020 instead of comparing it to 2018 or 2016 because it's a more accurate comparison. Now, here we go. This is a drop of data. We're going to analyze it. In 2020, after the first batch of mail was tabulated in Clark County, which is where most of the population is, it's also the bluest county in the state, Democrats led by 37.8%. But this year, in 2022, in that first batch, their margin of victory dipped from nearly 38% to just over 23%. That is a shift of about 15 points in favor of the Republicans in Clark County, which is the most massive county in the state. That's where the population center is. If you're a Republican and you get Clark County within 6, I'll show this on the election shuffler right here. If you get Clark County within 6, then Republicans, if you're a Republican, you're going to win the state of Nevada. It just has to be within 6. If you win Clark County as a Republican, you are going to win the state by probably at least 4 percentage points. This is true. It was within about 9 points or so in the 2020 election. This county in 2016 went for Clinton by around 12. You could see that right here on this map, or it went for her by like 11. Then in 2012, it went for Obama by around 15 points. It's moving to the right, and we'll get to that in a minute. But you talk about this, the Democrat margin in 2020, in terms of the mail-in ballots, was close to 28.4% by the end. So Republicans will likely do better as we go along, which is very interesting to note as well. They're already winning by a much lesser margin than they need to win by so far. And Republicans did better last time as the early voting went on. They will likely do better this time as well. So that's very, very bad news for them so far. In terms of what's happening in Reno, Washoe County, which is their second largest county, I believe it's not as consequential And Republicans may do even worse in this county than in years past and still win the state in terms of as the decade goes by, because there is a higher concentration of voters in the Reno area that are, college-educated white than those that live in Clark County, where a lot of the voters are non-college educated white, the white voters there. But Democrats led by nearly 30% so far in the first batch last time in 2020. Right now in Washoe County, they lead by 16.6%. Now, it's important to note that the Dem margin closed to 14% by the end of that, so Republicans will still likely do better as we go along. It's also important to note that in Clark County, Republicans lost the early vote on Saturday and Sunday in 2020, the first 2 days. However, they won both those 2 days in 2022. And in Washoe County, they're doing 3% better in early voting compared to 2020 as well. And finally, in 2020, Democrats had a lead of 36,000 in the two largest counties, the two Democrat counties at this point. But right now, it's just 7,907. Or to put it another way, the overall lead Democrats have in Clark and Washoe is smaller than their lead was in Washoe, which is the smaller county of those two, at this point in 2020. Bottom line, things are looking very good for Republicans, and they are. They are doing better than expected in the early vote so far. You look at the Target Smart data by registered party, and I tell people to take the model party with a little bit of a grain of salt. It's important to understand that if you're trying to analyze early vote data in states that don't register by party, it's not usually that accurate. The data, it can come back to bite you if you're basing all of your analysis off of that. But Nevada is a state that registers by party. It's also important to note that in literally every single poll and exit polls in the past, that the unaffiliated voters in Nevada, the independent voters, have typically gone for the Republicans. So it's important to note that as well. But even so, Republicans are defeating Democrats in the votes that have been cast so far. Registered Republicans defeating registered Democrats in the state of Nevada. This is huge because in 2020, it was 49 to 29. Democrats had a 20-point lead. Now Republicans have a lead. And in 2018, when early voting was different groups early voted, Republicans were more likely to do so back then compared to 2020 because Trump was attacking early voting. In 2018, you saw Democrats lead the early vote by roughly 5 points or so. So Republicans are leading even in comparison to 2018, which was before COVID, before you saw the opinions change on certain voters on the whole early voting thing, which is absolutely huge. And overall, less voters have voted by mail and early voting compared to 2018 and 2020, even, adjusting for lower turnout because it's a midterm year, which does indicate that Democrats are just not that enthused to turn out. Which is really, really saying something, and it's true. And you talk about this election in Nevada. You talk about why is Nevada a state that's moving to the right. You have to understand demography, and you have to understand trends. In 2012 and 2016, every single county in the state of Nevada moved to the right. Now, a lot of these counties are rural counties. Their population isn't necessarily that much compared to the metro areas. But even so, it really comes down to Clark County. Clark County moved to the right at a time where most metro areas in this country moved to the left. And then in 2020, the state of Nevada moved to the right, which is saying something because the national environment moved to the left by 2 points. You talk about a trend. It's very possible that this year is going to be, the national popular vote for the House is probably going to be R+3, could be R+4 or R+5. You're talking about trends, taking them into account. Nevada's already voting to the right of the nation by a couple of points. That would be enough on paper to move the state into the Republican column and then some. You're talking about, flipping some of those House districts in the Vegas area. You're talking about winning the governorship, winning the Senate race by a decent amount. And this is true. Republicans have their act together in the state. They're capitalizing off of this. You look at trends in the state of Nevada, in Clark County, it's moving to the right, which is saying something because you compare that to a place like Maricopa County, Phoenix, it's moving to the left. Phoenix tends to have a higher share of their white electorate as college educated, whereas Nevada, a lot of those are working class whites. You have a high Hispanic population. Them moving to the right by just a little bit is helping Republicans overall in the state of Nevada. Biden is not popular among Hispanics. Republicans will do better with them and their turnout will drop. I'm not saying they're going to win Hispanics. I'm not even saying they have to in order to win the state of Nevada. But what I'm saying is it's a different coalition compared to a lot of other states that people would consider similar to Nevada. A lot of people see it being in the same boat with Arizona because they're in the Southwest. They have a lot of Californians moving there, although a lot of the Californians moving to Nevada, mainly the Vegas area, are actually conservative Californians. And they are, if anything, pushing the state to the right. And then you look at the Democrat Party in the state of Nevada. The Reid machine, Harry Reid, he was the Senate Majority Leader when Democrats had the Senate. He retired in 2016. He's now gone. He's out of the picture. The Democrat Socialists of America now control the party, basically, and Reid is now figuratively and literally both gone. He passed away about a year ago, before the end of the year in 2021. And the Democrat Party in the state is in total disarray. You could even say that this is going to be the new Florida. You wouldn't, on paper, think it would be a super favorable state to Republicans demographically. If you're looking at it just on the surface, you see the high Hispanic population. You see the fact that Democrats have really won the state, and they've had it in their column more often than not in the past 10, 15 years. And previously, a lot of the Republicans that did hold power in the state did tend to be establishment Republicans. But now you're seeing a change. You're seeing a change here. And you look at the candidates the Republicans have put forward. You have Adam Laxalt and you have Joe Lombardo. And Laxalt's going up against Catherine Cortez-Masto, very overrated incumbent, got by against a weak candidate in the 2016 election by just a couple of points. She's not even polling at 47% as an incumbent. You had Adam Laxalt. The Laxalt family has been in politics in Nevada for quite some time. Adam Laxalt is fairly solid on the issues. He's been an ally of Trump. He was very good on crime and immigration as Attorney General. He's been a hawk on election integrity his whole entire career as well. And I believe he is going to win. I think he's probably going to win by even more than the polls are showing. The undecided voters tend to be breaking Republican this cycle. And you also look at the governorship polls right here. Joe Lombardo has a sizable lead over Sisolak. Sisolak, for an incumbent, being at 45, that is not a very good metric for him. And Lombardo, he's been good on crime for the most part. As sheriff in Clark County, he has a good record so far. He's, pledged to get rid of sanctuary cities. He wants election reform. He'll be a solid governor overall. Very good for Nevada. Hopefully he will win. We'll see him in there. And that would be a very positive development. And it all just comes down to Clark County. And he is from Clark County. And if you can move Clark County, like I said, you get this within 6 points. Yeah, and that's where the trend would be, especially in this year. It's possible Republicans even win Clark County at this rate, especially given some of the early vote numbers. And if they win Clark County, they're probably going to win the state by more than 5. And it's very possible you could see shifts in Clark the way we saw them in Miami-Dade in 2020, except we'll see them this cycle. And that would cement Nevada as a Republican state. In future election cycles, in my opinion, Trump should win the state in 2024. Especially if you get election reform in there. It would be 6 electoral votes. It would pad his margin. It would pad his floor, whoever he would go up against in the 2024 election. And that would be absolutely huge moving forward if Republicans were able to get the state of Nevada. And that's really what it comes down to. But the early vote's looking very good for Republicans. We'll continue to monitor it in the next couple of weeks or so. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.